Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another Habs Daily News with your hockey coach, Coach Frenchy. Today, episode number 281. What your menu, coach? Let's talking today about the RHP, his new contract. Secondly, possible Canadiens could have another option to get Pierre-Luc Dubois. And finally, is it possible the end of the Gurianov with the Montreal Canadien? But before we start, we invite you, please don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show, and of course, leave me a comment about this episode. And let's dive in and talk about my first subject of the day. My first subject of the day is about the RHP next contract with the Montreal Canadien. First of all, in 31 games this year, he have 13 goals, 5 assists, and 18 points. His shooting percentage is over 24% at this moment. What a great year he has right now since he got called up for the Laval Rocket January 15, 2023. Now, he played over 17 minutes with the Montreal Canadien, played most of the time on the top line with the Montreal Canadien, plus on the power play, on the PK, on the special team. I don't know, he make other players better around him. He create opportunities. Really an amazing, great player with the Montreal Canadiens. Finally, he is the #1 forward with the most block shot since January 15 in NHL. This is another area where harvey-pinard excel since he's with the Montreal Canadien. So what I did, guys, I look around the Montreal Canadien and other team who had a contract could be similar like harvey-pinard. First, Jake Evans, guys, signed a contract last year at 25 years old at 3 years at $1.7 million. This is his 4th year this year. Last year, he has his best year with the Montreal Canadien with 13 goals. Now, this year he's back at 2 goals like he did the year #1, year #2. It's possible Montreal could offer a contract like Jake Evans. But I look around other team in NHL. First of all, the Florida Panthers listed in at bottom 6 for the Panthers have a contract at 2 years at $1.5 million. I went to the Kings. I got the center 4 line, Lisa, that 2-year contract at $1.6 million. Then Nashville have 2 players. One is Trenin, signed a 2-year contract at $1.7 million. He played on the bottom 6. I expect one RHP is going to return next year. He's going to get a spot with the Montreal Canadien with every other players become healthy. I don't think so. He will be on the top 6 at the beginning. I see him a little bit more at the bottom 6. So it's because the situation for him, bottom 6, I expect RHP could sign a contract for 3 years at $1.5 million, or they extend 1 more year and they got AAV at $1.7 million, similar at Jake Evans. I don't know, it's too much. I would like to hear from you guys, but I expect RHP to have a spot with the Montreal Canadiens next year, and I wouldn't be surprised he signed a contract, what I just said, a 2 years, 1.5, or a 3 years at $1.7 million. So I would like to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about my suggestion, and I can wait to hear from you. Let's move on now, guys, for my second subject of the day. My second subject of the day, guys, we talked about him the last couple of days. If you would like to have Pierre-Luc Dubois with the Montreal Canadien, we ask you which kind of player could be traded to him. Some of you does not want to have Dubois, cannot pay too much about him. Here, another option for Ken Hughes. What are you talking about, the coach? But I think Hughes can negotiate very well with the Winnipeg Jets. If ever the Jets are too demanding, I think the Montreal Canadien could offer sheet to Pierre-Luc Dubois. That would give Montreal Canadien about $6.4 million. This is going to be really good for the Montreal. They could get him during the summer. If you don't have no contract signed for the July 1st from the Winnipeg Jets, the Montreal have between July 1st to July 5th to offer sheet to the Winnipeg Jets. If they offer an offer sheet at $6.4 million, the cost of Montreal Canadien in return is a first-round pick 2024 and the third-round pick 2024. Now, the Jets could have an option. They could match up Pierre-Luc Dubois at $6.4 million. But here's the hick about this, is if they do this, they cannot trade Pierre-Luc Dubois during the year. This is the biggest problem for the Jets. So they could get him for the full year. They cannot trade him at the trade deadline, and they have to let him go at the end of his contract after the 1 year, or they could resign him, give him an extension if everything Pierre-Luc Dubois want to play over there. But this is a great advantage for the Montreal Canadiens. if ever they offer sheet to Pierre-Luc Dubois. Can use this method or not? I'm not sure, but this is another option Montreal could use to get Pierre-Luc Dubois during the off summer 2023. Would be interesting to see this, but I would like to hear from you guys. Would you like to have Pierre-Luc Dubois with the Montreal Canadiens? Do you think this option is a really good one for the Montreal Canadiens? And again, if the Jet pick him up, offer 6.4, they cannot trade him. So really, Canadiens have a good option here to get Pierre-Luc Dubois 1 year earlier and offer him an extension contract if the Montreal want Pierre-Luc Dubois. And of course, if Pierre-Luc Dubois want to play with the Montreal Canadiens. So let's move on now, guys, for my last subject of the day. My last subject of the day, guys, about the Denis Gurianov. Is it the end with the Montreal Canadiens? Yes, he scored 5 goals and he got traded from Dallas to Montreal Canadiens. He had some kind of roller coaster, great game, bad game, inconsistency. The same situation like he did with the Dallas Stars for many years. And I think for me, the problem is this guy, he had no spot for him next season. What are you talking about? Let's see the roster. First of all, guys, a right winger, Gallagher, Anderson, Amia, Caulfield. Left winger, Sakoski, Hoffman, and harvey-pinard. Now, for one more spot, Farrell, Henneman, Ilonen, Peseta, Belzil, and Pitlick. You have right now 6 players for one spot to the top 12. Then you can add one more extra player or 2 more. And I think with what we got right now, Farrell, Henneman, Ilonen, Peseta, Belzil, and Pitlick, I think right now Montreal don't need Gurianov. Now, he said maybe they can trade Amia, Hoffman, and I did not put right now other players. So I think for me, you have no spot for the Gurianov with the Montreal Canadiens. And if they sign him as a RFA, his contract will be at $3.2 million. They can use another way. They can drop the money to about $2 million, 2.5, give him 2-year contract. But is it worth it? Do you really believe Gurianov is going to be an impact measure for the Montreal Canadiens next season? Or do you prefer to have a guy like Belzeda, Belzid, Wakitsik, blue-collar players, or a chance like Jesse Allen, 22 years old only, 23 now, or Henneman, or Sean Farrell could play with the Montreal Canadiens? So leave me a comment, guys. Do you think this is the end for Gurianov, or you expect him to return with the Montreal Canadiens for the season 2023-2024? That's conclude, guys, all the subject I have for you for this episode. Here we go, guys. This is a quick one. We talk about RHP contract, Pierre-Luc Dubois option for Ken Hughes. Finally, the end of Gurianov with the Montreal Canadiens. But before we leave, guys, we invite you. Yes, you. Please don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Canadian Show, leave me comments about this episode. And of course, guys, I want to remind you one more thing. You have greatness inside of you, and we wish you an amazing, blessing day, everybody.